Tesla's stock just jumped 8% after the Model YS hit the streets of Austin on June 22nd. But early rider videos show some concerning lane drifts and harsh stops. The NHTSA is taking notes, and a safety pause could be coming this September. Is this the future of robotaxis or just a risky rollout? Watch the full video to see if Tesla can debug its camera-only fleet before Waymo takes the lead.
So let's go into the next one. This one's a personal favorite of mine because I have a story. Something happened in the last 10 weeks that changed my life forever, and it has to do with this story.
All right.
Last week, the much vaunted Tesla Robotaxi finally launched after years and years, and all this. It launched with 10 taxis, whatever the hell it was, and I don't know how big a thing it was in Austin. But let's hear your take on Elon Musk's massive Robotaxi announcement and a little rollout.
Yeah, exactly. So first of all, I think you've got this nailed. This is something that has been discussed for somewhere in the neighborhood of a decade, and it was always right around the corner. Friends and I were betting on what would happen first, actual robo-taxis or a Japanese integrated gaming resort, right? Because all of those have been about to happen for the last decade. Anyway, but credit to Tesla. They finally got their first on-road robo-taxi trial, and some of it went well. There were some issues, and I don't know that those issues are necessarily a problem. I think Elon Musk, he has a great attitude for things like this. He's great at saying, well, he kind of has that Thomas Edison, yeah, we found problems, now we're going to fix them, right? And I think he's great at using these kinds of trials, the failures in trials, the difficulties that they find as ways to improve and get better really quickly. Good for him on that. The one thing that I do have some questions about is what's going to be the future of these different models. So, Tesla is using this low-cost camera-only approach that might scale faster and cheaper, but rivals are using things like lidar, radar, there are all kinds of safety glitches, and depending on the weather, depending on conditions, some of these more expensive systems, from what I've read, may be better at seeing a little further into the distance, at identifying problems. I'm not sure that the camera-only approach is going to work, and I'm not sure how easy it will be for them to fix it. That said, let's give them credit. They actually got this thing rolled out, and they used it, and everybody lived, and they will fix the problems.
Okay. So here's a perspective. I'm not an Elon Musk hater nor a fan. He went to school with me. He went to the University of Pennsylvania at the same time I did. We were both in the college. We didn't know each other, hung in different circles. I respect what he's done. He's obviously been very successful, but we're here in Connecticut, and my girlfriend and I, we need to buy a second car. So I was looking at what to buy, and I said, well, maybe we should look at a Tesla. And the reason is that, number one, they and this is going to come to full self-driving in a second. Number one, everyone I know who's ever owned one raves about them. Number two, we had borrowed a friend's hybrid, and it was really nice to not have to deal with as much gas. And number three, everyone hates Tesla, and I'm a value buyer. So the market's flooded. I was like, oh, Teslas are cheap, and everyone loves them. So we bought it. We bring it home. Actually, my girlfriend was away, so I had to deal with it. Like, I have a fun Jeep or whatever. But I'm sitting in the Tesla, maybe a day after, and I'm like, oh wait, this thing has full self-driving. Wow, I'm going to give that a shot. So I pull out of my driveway and I just throw it right on. I'm going to the gym. It's 15 minutes away. And I go, I did a little bit of reading to make sure that it was, I said, I'm just going to do this. I'm not going to touch the wheel. And it drove for the next 15 minutes to my gym. I did not touch the steering wheel. I did not touch a pedal. Mind blown. Like, it just, so a lot of people listening may have been in a Waymo, but until you experience it from the driver's seat, you have no idea how game-changing this is. And I will tell you, so I use it all the time. We got to go to the city all the time. My daughter and I were going to a Yankees game. It's a 2-hour commute. I basically got in the car. My 8-year-old daughter and I did not touch the wheel past my driveway for 2 hours to get to New York. Didn't touch it once. You got to look straight ahead. You can't multitask or anything, so you got to pay attention. But I'm on the sawmill, which goes like this. Our kids, my youngest daughter's 5 years old. When she's 20, she's going to have a conversation with me. She's going to say, Dad, wait, you used to drive the cars? Like you use the wheel or the ones that have wheels. And why would you do that? That's so stupid. Like, it's dangerous. Like, you're not as good as the AI. Like, who in God's holy earth would ever do what you're talking about?
She's gonna think she's gonna think you're Fred Flintstone with blistered feet.
Well, yeah, exactly. She's gonna be like, you might as well have a telephone with a cable that goes into the wall, or you might as well get your news from a piece of paper. Like, who would do that? I'm telling you, there is a aha moment coming with FSD in the next 18 months where you come to the States. We'll come up. I think you're down in the New York area too. Like, we'll go for a self-drive. It's a game changer. I looked it up today. 93 billion hours are driven by Americans in a given year. Let's say we get half of those back, 42 billion hours. So people talk about AI and the impact and like, oh, we can write a term paper. Oh, it can book my flight. Screw that. 42 billion American hours will come back in the next 5 to 10 years. What does that have an impact on society? So here's my point. We could go back and forth, Google, Tesla, etc. This is the single biggest technological change happening since the internet. And I think it's just, it's going to change everything. It changes the narrative. And so everyone says, oh, yeah, I want to drive my own car. I will never do it. Trust me. I remember when people had Blackberries and we needed a keyboard for our phone. I could never have a touch screen. We're all going to look back in 10 years and just be like, what the heck were we doing driving our own cars? So I understand there's negative earnings revisions at Tesla. I've never actually recommended Tesla stock in my entire career as a newsletter writer. Never been. I think we're almost there. So I will say this Robotaxi thing. If there's one thing that people can do, go get in an FSD and find out who has a Tesla. Drive it with them. It will change your perspective. This is the biggest thing that's going to happen in the stock market. And then AI will only really be important for most people because of FSD.
Well,
I know that sounds crazy.
Next time I'm back in the US, we will go for an FSD drive in the Tesla. I will look forward to that. But I'm going to tell you something. I am never giving up my E46 M3 with the manual transmission.
Everyone says that. We're going to see.
Come on, rolling through the gears in a real internal combustion engine. It is fun.
So it's going to be the same thing where you read a magazine, but you get 95% of your news off the internet. Okay, so old people can still enjoy it.